Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you. Thank you for joining me for another one of my spirit review videos. So today is actually June 14th. That means it is National Bourbon Day. I know, it wasn't on my calendar either. But we do need a day to celebrate America's spirit. You know, bourbon, born and bred here in the U.S., fantastic as far as it's growing in popularity year by year. And it's just a good day to sit down with a great glass. So, to sit down with several great glasses, I decided to shoot a video for you. And broke out 4 of the big boys. We're talking barrel-proof, uncut, unfiltered bourbons. And I've got them lined up here in an order of proof. We're going to start on this end with the lower spectrum at 126.6. This is Booker's bourbon, 8 years old. 8-year-old, 2 months actually in this case. But the thing to know about Booker's, it's great in that it's readily available everywhere. The proofs are going to be a little different from bottle to bottle, but as far as the quality, I've always seemed to find them pretty much remaining the same. Okay. Next is going to be Blanton, straight from the barrel. Unfortunately, it's not available here in the U.S., but if you Google it, you can probably get your hands on a bottle. This one's actually bottled at 132.5 proof. The thing to know about Blantons is they don't put an age statement. They actually use a warehouse that is steam heated, and what that does is it allows it to continue the maturation process into the winter. So whereas the other warehouses that are naturally climate controlled, you know, they slow down. The barrel cools, it squeezes out all the bourbon back into the barrel. It just doesn't start breathing again until the summer starts warming up. This one raises temperature in the warehouse, and it keeps the breathing process going. It actually ages much faster. Hence, they don't want to put on there that they're bottling a 4-year-old bourbon, let's say. But the thing is to remember is that older doesn't necessarily mean better. Okay. People believe that Blanton's is anywhere between 4 and 10-year-old. I tend to think it's probably 6 to 8. Somewhere in there would be the peak for that one. Next, the Colonel E.H. Taylor bourbon. Again, barrel proof, uncut, unfiltered, bottled at 134.5. It's a 7-year-old bourbon, and we're going to see how that one compares here shortly. And then the granddaddy of them all, George T. Stagg, bottled at 141.4 proof. It's actually a 16-year and 7 months on this one. Now, the thing to know about it is that it is actually year to year they change. Okay, so different proofs from year to year. When you see the 141.4, you know it's from 2009. It's won too many awards to even mention, but I kind of had to put it in here just to compare, all right, as we go along. So we're going to get started on the Bookers. We're going to nose them, then taste them, okay? Looking at colors, I've had them on the sheet, so hopefully you can see them, but I'll go ahead and show them a little closer. Give it a little swirl. I have added 1 drop of water to each of these. On the nose, fair amount of alcohol, but given 126.6 is to be expected. Fairly sweet, dark, burnt sugars, you know, very rich in the caramel department. Heavy on the oak, heavy on the raspberries and cherries, but think darker, more like a little bit of a dried element to it, dried fruit element. And that's pretty much what I get on that one. Fair amount of barrel, vanilla, caramel. Okay. On the Blanton, straight from the barrel. Look at the color. Alright. Wow. Even though it's higher in proof, I can't tell it on the nose. I can actually get a little bit deeper in the Glencairn. Remember how it concentrates the flavors right up to your nose. Sometimes you have to be careful on the big bourbons. But very, very nice as far as how it's coming off sweet, vanilla, almost like a caramel. It almost has this toasted vanilla feel to it, toasted marshmallow feel to it. Fair amount of oat, but it's perfectly balanced, right? It's a little bit less than the Booker's on the oat. A little bit of mint and honey. And maybe like a fresh tobacco leaf. Very, very complex, very nice. Alright, the E.H. Taylor. Look at the color. A little bit darker. You can tell it's definitely bigger. The alcohol is a little more predominant on the nose. It's a sweet custard, almost like a creme brulee. It's vanilla, caramel, mid-level oak again. But the alcohol is a little bit more noticeable on it than even the Booker's. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. We're about to find out on the tasting. And a little bit of tobacco in there as well. More of a cigar box on that one. Alright, George T. Stagg. Look at the color. 16 years. Wow, you can't tell on the nose. Not over oaked at all. Medium amount though. But complementing that, you would think that at 141 the alcohol would be burning me down, but it's actually very well mannered. Definitely a creme brulee going on here. I think vanilla custard, caramel sauce, the raspberries, the strawberries. Yep, and a cherry note. Very light honey in the background. And very, very deep as far as the caramel. Very nice. Yeah, looking forward to that one on the taste. Alright. Get a little bit of a rinse before we go to the Booker's. On the taste. $126.6, and you know it on the feel. Big oak, big vanilla, big caramel. The fruits are a little bit muted just because of those really three predominant flavors. But there is a cherry element to it in the back. The oak is dominating, so I'm not finding too much more than that. That's pretty much what I find in that one, which is good. I mean, that's a good, straightforward bourbon. Not too complex, but then again, not too pricey, so that's a good thing. All right, we're going to move on to the Blantons. Wow. That one's going to need two. That one's very, very thick bourbon. All right. 132.5. Wow. Sweet caramel, vanilla, hint of mint in the background, almost like a eucalyptus. Perhaps a touch of cedar in there. As far as the fruit, I would say the raspberries and cherries are fresh, so it's not like a dried fruit element. Maybe a hint of golden raisin in there in the very, very background. But very, very nice as far as, I like the way the cedar kind of, there's a little cedar element to it in the background that kind of freshens everything up. It keeps it from going, sometimes bourbons will tend to go to a tobacco feel on the end. Not this one, it's staying really nice and fresh. Even though it's pretty hot in the mouth in the very beginning, it tends to really calm down and get really silky on the palate. Very, very nice bourbon. All right, E.H. Taylor. coming after the Blantons, I can tell the flavors feel a little bit muted. They're all there. You get the caramel, you get the oak, the vanilla, the cinnamon, a little bit of cherry, but again, they feel a little tight, a little bit muted. I think it's because of the amount of alcohol in the oak that are being so dominating that it tends to bring those down. I did add 2 drops of water to this one, actually, hoping that it would open it up a little more. But it feels every bit of the 134.5 on that one. Flavors are there, but just be prepared. This is a moderate amount of heat with that one as well. Alright, George T. Stagg. Wow. Again, very silky on the palate. Reminds me of Blanton's. Very well rounded as far as the flavors. Very bright raspberry and cherry note. Good medium amount of oak, but well balanced, which is surprising considering it's 16 years in the wood. Almost has like a vanilla saltwater taffy. In that I get just a hint of salt to it, but it also has the very sweet cream, like a creme brulee again. Wow. I can feel that heat. It's definitely there. But unlike this one where the heat's in the forefront, the heat on the Stag is in the finish. Yeah, that one's of course going to be the winner here, but the other 3 are very, very nice. I'll give, of course, Blanton's straight from the barrel was tremendous. Booker's full of flavor, straightforward bourbon. E.H. Taylor, for a barrel proof, it's nice. It's very potent. The flavors again aren't as bright as some of the others, but they're all there. It's getting very rare to find one, so if you do find one, it might be worth picking up. So that's it for today. Thank you for celebrating National Bourbon Day with me. Everybody have a great evening, and cheers.